Let's talk about Rangers. Things aren't so good over there for Glasgow Rangers after losing to Aberdeen. Is Philippe Clement on the verge of being sacked at this point? How much longer can it go on? Now 9 points adrift of the top of the table.
Yeah, he's clinging on to his job with his fingertips right now. Real disappointing start to the season. I don't think anyone connected with Rangers envisaged they would be 9 points behind Celtic at this stage of the season. They would never have thought they'd be 9 points behind Aberdeen after just 10 games. So if Rangers were to miss out in the top two this season, that would be a disaster for the club. And obviously Clement is taking a lot of the flack as expected right now as well. That's back-to-back away defeats to Kilmarnock and Aberdeen. I think the record this season now is they've lost 3 of their opening 10 games and drawn 1. So it's not a good enough record for Rangers. Obviously, when you are in charge of the big two in Scotland, Celtic and Rangers, you're just one defeat away from a crisis, and that's now 2 back-to-back away defeats for Clement. So yeah, the pressure is reaching fever pitch up in Glasgow right now as well, and he's got a huge League Cup semi-final against Motherwell on Sunday, and if he were to lose that, there's no way back. I think that would be the end of Philippe Clement as well. And Rangers obviously backed him in the summer by giving him a new 4-year deal, but obviously it seems it would be inevitable that they would have to part ways with the Belgian.
And Graham Potter is a name that's been linked quite a bit with this job, amongst other names, but is he the lead candidate to take the job when Philippe Clement does get sacked?
I'm sure he'd be an exciting appointment if Rangers were able to get him. I think it would be hard for Rangers to try and persuade Graham Potter to make that move up to Scotland, although they are a huge club and everything else. We saw the latest financial figures didn't make for great rating in midweek as well, and the team on the pitch right now does seem like it needs a lot of major surgery to get them back up there challenging Celtic and Aberdeen. So although Graham Potter is looking like he is keen to get back into management, I think he might look at other alternatives before Rangers, and I'm sure Potter himself would potentially prefer to stay in the Premier League if he was to get back into management. But obviously huge club still, Rangers, and I'm sure there'll be a huge draw for a number of managers if they do end up sacking Clement.
And considering those financial figures that we all saw this week, does that really make Derek McInnes a more realistic signing as manager, are obviously already in the Scottish League and more used to kind of those wages and the league itself?
Yeah, he obviously ticks a lot of boxes, McInnes. As you said, he's worked with a small budget at Kilmarnock and has done a really good job at Rugby Park as well. And obviously he's got Rangers links. He's a former Rangers player, so although he might not be the most high profile or glamorous appointment, I think he'd be somebody who would get an improvement from the team, and obviously the fans would like to see somebody with Rangers connections in charge of the club as well. So I think obviously for me he would be the right fit at this time.
And then as well with Rangers, they're linked with signing Lennon Miller from Motherwell. They have been for a while. Could he help turn things around? Should he come in January? Obviously a very young, talented player.
Yeah, he's a very young player. I don't think you could put that pressure on his shoulders right now to say if he was to move to Rangers, could he transform their fortunes? And the problem for Rangers is, could they afford to sign Lennon Miller right now? He's obviously earning a lot of lavish praise in Scotland right now with his performances for Motherwell. He very impressive against Celtic last weekend when he was inches away from scoring a couple of goals when he hit the woodwork, and he is regarded as one of the brightest young prospects in Scottish football. So I think there'll be a number of clubs, Celtic and Rangers obviously, will be interested in signing Miller, as they normally do, try and snap up the best young talent, but there'll be also a lot of interest from clubs in England, I'm sure, in Lennon Miller. So I think Rangers in their current financial situation wouldn't be able to compete with any other interested clubs.